We hope you enjoy The Magicians, Killer Comedy by Rachel Lawson. Good evening. Welcome to our show. We're Mortimer and Xander. We hope you like our show, said Mortimer, a tall, handsome, black-haired man. The audience wasn't fooled. They knew these comedians were famous stage magician Blake Alexander and his son, the noted mentalist Lance Alexander. They will if you don't ask them for paperwork again, said Xander. The audience laughed nervously. Hey, that was a survey, said Mortimer, offended. Paperwork is a comedy killer, snapped back Xander. We have to know our audience, said Mortimer. Trust you to kill the mood of the show. Can't we just wing it, said Xander. You can wing it, angel boy. I don't have wings, Mortimer snapped back at his son, the angel of death. Kill it, Dad, said Xander, cold as death, his father the king of the Grim Reapers. The show didn't get any better, but they went on even though the show was dead. Trust you two to kill the show, said the stage manager after the show, not surprised. He gave the audience a survey, said the disgusted son. It wasn't my survey, said Mortimer, glaring at the stage manager. Sounds like your work, Dante, snapped back Lance. We had to find out who was here somehow, said Dante, the stage manager. I know, but a survey was a show killer, complained Lance. Wish we weren't hunting a killer who kills stand-up comedians. This is a hard job, this stand-up comedy, said Blake, a.k.a. Mortimer. Yes, we can only hope for a mercy killing, to put us out of his comedy, said Lance sadly. Later in the afterlife office of the King of the Reapers, 3 Reapers sat in chairs at 3 collapsible card tables reading the surveys. Find any interesting people yet, you two? Asked one of the Reapers, Lance the necromancer. 6 Santas, 4 Jedi Knights, aliens, alien invaders, a few stage magicians, a few Blake Alexanders, the enchanter, Blue Midnight, my hero, and not a comedian, and well, insults. And Tempest must have seen the show in the halls of time before he came. He said, not funny, said Mortimer, the Reaper King. That's what you get when you ask, who am I? Tempest was his other son, who saw all of time in his pool of time in the halls of time. Lance laughed. You find anything there, boy? Asked Mortimer. I only found Barry Walker, said Lance. The comedian? Asked Mortimer excitedly. No. The race car driver, of course, the comedian, scoffed Lance. I think we've found our comedian killer, grumbled the irritable Mortimer. The King of Reapers had the comedian watched by his Reapers. He was caught killing a rival comedian by the Reapers. So the king and his killer son, the necromancer, went in turn to the comedian's show to reveal him. Hello, welcome to my show. I am Barry Walker, the best comedian in town, said the killer comedian. Do we talk now, Dad? Asked Lance, wanting to heckle. Not now, wait. I have something planned, said Blake. Smiling, he was now a human, like his son. They enjoyed the show for a while. Then suddenly, Blake stood pointing at the comedian with bitter hatred. Now, he shouted. The comedian looked at him curiously. What? Asked the comedian, recognizing Blake as the famous magician and bad comedian. We have a famous magician in the audience. What do you want, Blake Alexander? A breeze cold as death washed over the stage, making the comedian shiver. What trick is this? Asked the killer comedian. I have come for you, said the Reaper Dante, floating above the stage in a spooky, dramatic way in an eerie mist. Why have you come for me? Asked the comedian nervously. Because you have killed, you shall die, shouted Dante. Blake smiled darkly. The comedian realized he was the puppet master of the Reaper, seeing his face. Alexander, withdraw your monster, and I will confess, shouted the killer comedian. Then confess, shouted Blake. I confess that I killed, said the scared, crying mess, which was the killer who leaped from the stage onto Blake, who was in the first row from the stage. He throttled Blake. You, screamed the killer. Lance turned to the killer and broke his neck with a swift move. No, you don't, Lance said, as the killer dropped dead. Blake gasped for breath frantically. People were panicking. He will live, said Dante, then took the soul of the killer and left. Blake lived, and he had a hard time explaining why he was ordering a Reaper around, as he'd not come out as the Reaper King yet. He said the Reaper King had told him what to do and that the comedian had killed others. Blake was a coroner, so they believed him. Lance killed in defense of his father, so that was forgiven too.